Alright guys, it's the last day, so you know what we say. Last day's better than the first. It's first light. We've got 2 deer spotted right here. Really low light. We got the vortex bringing in good light, and I glassed 2 deer about 600 yards away. So we're gonna sneak to this edge and set up scope. Fingers crossed in there that it's a big buck. Well, Matt just saw a wolf. We got some video of it. It was coming right at us at first, but I just glassed a herd of deer. So, getting the scope on him. Big buck, come on. I got a good look in my binos at a deer that was on this little bench. I could tell it was a buck. It was kind of facing like rear end to me, and then it turned its head and I just saw a big white face. So I was like scrambling to get the tripod up, and I never could find him again unless he kept walking. He might be somewhere right across from us, so we're gonna post up and cover some of these north slopes with some snow, and then if nothing happens we'll just kind of keep bouncing around. But there's a lot of country in here, and it's actually really thick, and some of it didn't burn, so a lot of hiding spots for big bucks back in here. I really like this country. We just need to turn one up. Dude, it's a freaking decent little buck. A nice little 4-point. Let's go. It bedded down, but it's already back standing. Dang, dude, did we shoot that buck? Last day, guys. He's way down in there, too. I've been just wanting to see a buck. Finally, we got one. He's in a good spot too, because they're just chilling right there. Well, we got decisions to make, but we're gonna keep glassing because this whole hillside's super bare and they're just right in the wide open, so maybe we'll find a bigger one. Well, we were back up on that ridge and a little over 900 yards from the buck, so we got some video of him, and we're definitely going to get closer, continue to hunt on the way over there. But I did say, like, any nice 4-point buck, like, we're shooting it today. That's literally exactly what we're looking for, so we're going to make a play on him and stay high. The last I saw him, he got the doe up and they started moving, so hopefully they don't go too far. Ready? We're gonna try this. Perfect time of the day too, because we'd get him quartered and out before dark. So let's go, Matty Ice. We're getting close. We're 550 yards. It's way too steep. I'm gonna try and drop down. 490. It's gonna be like 500 from here, so he's probably gonna bed right here. Okay. He's like in the wash right now. Looks like he's kicking a bed. He's got his doe right there, and I think he might bed somewhere right there close by. Oh yeah, he bedded. He's like bedded in the wash. Like, if you didn't glass that good and you didn't know he was there, you'd probably miss him. It's pretty cool looking though. I'm gonna try dry fire. So dead. I think we're gonna give him a try. You rolling? Yeah, we're good.
You smoked him, dude.
Oh, he's still right there.
Yep. The doe hasn't even stood up.
Yeah, the doe's just getting up.
That was a perfect shot, bro.
Smoked him, huh?
That was a perfect shot.
It felt so dang good right here, dude.
Like, that shot couldn't have been any better.
I was just like, I'm so solid. And I was pulling through the trigger like, I have no clue when this thing's gonna go off, you know? He's just laying right there in his bed.
Dude, that shot was so money.
Got him. That's cool. Like we say, last day's better than the first day. I just got my Colorado buck. 500 yards, like on the dot, which is a 3.26 on this turret. And it has third hashes, so it's like a 3.3. So it turned out to be perfect. I just put it right on his front shoulder and just pulled through the trigger and just dumped him right there in his bed. I don't know if I've shot one in its bed before. That was cool. Got it on the GoPro too. Oh, what's up? We got him, guys. On the freaking last day. You know, this is perfect because we have half a day of sunlight and nice weather to pack him out of this big bottom. It's all the way uphill, but it's not going to be too bad. So I'm stoked. Got a nice 4-point. I told Matt, I'm like, if we see any decent buck, especially like a nice little 4-point, I'm shooting today. And that's what we got. So tagged out in Colorado. Let's go get him. I think we said, Matt said he was following or tracking us in 3 miles right before we decided to make the stalk, and they were 900 as the crows fly. So I'd say we're close to 4 miles in here. But yeah, check this out, like this creek bottom. This is our way out, and look how heavenly that looks. Nice and grassy and flat. Be perfect. This buck's right up here in this ditch. I know I tell you guys all the time, but follow us on Instagram at GetHushin, Facebook and TikTok. You get the updates a little more current. That's why you guys always see me with the phone. Matt's filming and I'm getting shots. Yeah, here he is. Oh, his antlers are black from the burn. That's kind of cool. God, what a pretty deer. Oh man, look at those dark antlers, dude. That's pretty sweet. I thought that was a tine coming out of his forehead. It's just a leaf. Dude, he bedded just right here against this log, huh? Look at this, guys. The color of these antlers is like nothing that I have out of an entire room full of deer that I've taken and sheds I found. This is super unique. I mean, look how polished it is. It's like shining. Nice little 4-point with eye guards. Great buck. Man, we were lucky enough to get these land voucher tags, and the tag I'm hunting is unit wide, which allows me to go in the whole unit. Casey's kind of limited to the private land, but I sure hope they're getting in them. I know they saw a good buck right on the fence line, but hopefully Braley gets a shot at a buck today. This is what we're calling the jerky buck. Matt has been making some homemade elk jerky on the camp chef, and when we saw this buck and we were kind of like, should we go after it or not, or sit here and hunt the evening? Like, dude, let's like jerky that entire thing. So besides maybe the back straps and the tenderloins, this guy's gonna feed us for a while. We'll have a lot of camp snacks after cooking this one. All right, guys, kind of unloading the backpack so we can rearrange it for when we get the meat done. Pulling out my tags. Kind of funny, I forgot I had my Colorado deer and my Colorado archery elk. So we didn't punch the archery elk tag this year. Matt and I got dang close, but not close enough. Well, we did get close enough, we just didn't make it happen, unfortunately. And of course we see all the elk on this hunt when I don't have a rifle tag. But notch the tag, and then we're going to run you guys through some of the stuff like I showed you on how to butcher a deer back here. We're going to do the gutless method, we're going to quarter it, we're going to get the back straps, the neck roasts, and the tenderloins. And so for those of you who haven't done it ever in the back country and you have to maybe carry it out, you guys might learn a thing or two. Not claiming to be an expert, but we've done it enough that I think we can show you guys a couple things and maybe teach you a trick or two. Hush game bags, these are deer. Nice, I have deer for a deer. I didn't have any elk for my elk hunt. We're gonna notch this, guys, and then we'll show you guys how we cut it up. All right, first cut, we're going all the way down the backbone. I'm not gonna mount this deer, but we're gonna almost do it as if we were anyways. I mean, I'm not gonna cape the whole front shoulder and head, but you would always start, if you were mounting it, you could do the same. Just go straight down the back. Oh my gosh, dude. The only thing I've cleaned this year is 2 bull elk. Their necks get pretty tough, these mule deer, but not like an elk. Well, I jogged there a little bit, but we'll be just fine. The meat will be just okay, but straight down. And there's a few ways people go from here. Like on the hind, you can run your blade this way and do that, and then kind of fold it open and take the hind quarter. Or you can run it up this side. Either way you do, that's how you get the hind. And the front, I always come from the armpit side on the front. Right there at the joint. And again, if you were mounting it, you would actually run the same line, just like that. You come about mid-body. Again, we only need to really pull off the front shoulder, which is like this much. We'll just go straight up from there. But you do want to always cut from underneath the hair up. Keeps your blade sharp and less hair on the meat. Again, since we're not caping it for a shoulder mount, you don't have to be too perfect. All right, we've got the front shoulder caped, and let me show you. My buddy pulled off a lot of the brisket meat with it, so I decided I'm going to start doing that. Like he started. Usually I'm underneath all this, and you can peel it off later and have like a bunch of little scrap meat, but it's kind of nice when you can get it all in one. But it was a lot different on an elk. Like, so much extra came with the elk. That's not a whole lot of extra, but that's how you remove the front shoulder. Look at that nice meat. Like I said, I've only killed 2 elk this year. I have not worked on a deer for a full year. I think last year. They're so tiny. How convenient is this? We can go 4 miles in and not have to stress 2 people. These game bags are like perfect size. So these have been used and washed. They're reusable. So if you get these, make sure you wash them and use them over and over. Save yourself some money. We'll remove the front hoof off of that, and Matt's about got the hind quarter. We'll show you guys that next. This is gonna ding the video, but we want to show you guys this. We left proof of sex on this first hind right there. Got the big old ball joint.
So you can feel their pelvis right here, and you kind of just scrape along their pelvis. And they had this little bone that comes up.
Yeah, there's like a little.
And a lot of people will just cut straight through that and leave a bunch of meat. So
You got to kind of get around it, huh?
yep. And then after you go through the ball joint, you turn right back down towards the pelvis and run your blade along that again. You can see the bone there.
Yep. You good to do it? Got it yourself?
Yep. So once I've gone about 80% of the way that direction, I'll take, and you can feel the pelvis with your blade, and you kind of just run your knife along the pelvis there. So this is the bone you want to be following, and there's this little bump here that you have to go around, but you just follow that pelvis, and there's the hind quarter.
Solid.
Right there, that's a lot of meat for a deer.
Okay guys, next and last that we're going to show you is the back strap. So there's a couple ways you can do it. A lot of people like to start by running their knife down the backbone, which you got to eventually do. But for whatever reason, I've always liked to start on the outside. So the you can feel the ribs right here. So there's a line you're going to follow. And I like to just start peeling it away off the ribs right there. So there's like natural lines. Like that's the thing, is as long as you're following natural lines on almost all, like cutting most of the deer, you'll be just fine. But I always like to start by kind of opening up this side, so you can see the little ribs right there. Just separate that right off. I'd say the back is the easiest part to kind of lose some meat. So again, kind of cut away, like cut towards the ribs. And it kind of goes underneath this hip bone at an angle. So you can get a little extra just by slicing it down. I'll usually run this to the bottom. And you know when you're at the bottom because there's these big knots. You can also get a lot of the neck meat with it. It's not necessarily part of the cut, but the goal is just to get the meat off. So this is the only tricky part. is there's those knots. If you guys have done this before, you guys know to kind of go around. They're kind of circular in here. You kind of work your way around each one like that, and they get bigger and bigger as you get towards the rear end. So this will basically peel right off now that it's to that point. But those knots are always the hardest to work around. So yeah, from there you run your blade just up against the backbone. Kind of same thing. Make sure you're running the knife towards the spine more than into the cut of meat. And then you can start it from the. I usually actually have been doing it from the backside forward, but right to about right there would be plenty. And from there, heck, it'll about peel out. You can see how soft and tender that meat is. It's one of my favorite cuts to work on. Let's just peel it out. There you have it. That is a mule deer back strap. Dude, can you imagine that? Just whole on the camp chef. Trimmed up, cleaned up a little bit, but dude, that's some good meat right there. Alright guys, so that's all we're going to show you for the butcher part. Neck roast is a little tricky. I showed you guys on my elk. There's a lot of knots to kind of work around there. Tenderloins are hard to get to, but with a mule deer being so small, we can maneuver it just, and with two of us, we'll get it just fine. But we're going to get the quarters, the back straps, the tenderloins, the neck roast, and there's a little bit of scrap meat like flank steak, flank meat on the ribs we can get. But yeah, how about that? Trophy shot, guys. Tag some trophy shots on social. So everything's done, guys. Here's our collection. Matt took and caped the head. He'll make a good European mount. We've got 5 bags full. So the Hush game bags come with 5, and that way you can have 1 for each quarter and then a scrap bag. So inside that, just like I said earlier, the back straps, tenders, and neck roast are all in that. So 5 bags together. I have a lot more clothes than I needed, so we're going to arrange our backpacks and load these up. So you can see how Matt has his exo pack peeled off the frame. You can load up quarters in there and then fold it back on. I think I'm going to have to do the same as well. So that's how we use these exo packs. And then you have your whole bag. If you need to, you can put meat in the bag, but I try to avoid it if possible. Get a little bloody in there. So what do you want, Matt? 2 hinds over there?
Yep, 2 hinds and the scraps.
All I've got is the front 2 shoulders, so Matt's being a good friend.
Well, you have the spotting scope and rifle.
True, I do have the gear. Alright, so one's upside down, one's right side up. Just equal out the weight a little bit. So that's it. I'm going to load all my gear, and we're also each taking a shot of the Hush lemonade. I've got Cheez-It, extra toasty. Gotta go extra toasty, dude. Tuna snack, an orange, and the Ignite. So guys, you can always get the old Hush Ignite. I don't know if our discount code works anymore. If it does, it's in the description box of the YouTube video. So down that, then I'm gonna throw the head on, and we're out of here. So we're gonna enjoy a little break, hang out for a sec, but that was fun. Hope you guys learned a thing or two on that. You always got to take a couple gulps out so there's enough room for the powder. Alright, let's go now. Solid. Guys, this honestly isn't that bad. I mean, all I added was 2 front shoulders. Matt's got the most of it, but you can see I got the gun, the head, scope, and whatnot. So we're gonna make, getting old, dude. But we're gonna make our way up this creek bottom like we told you guys. Super pretty walk. Still sunny outside, nice weather. So let's go. load. Made it to the truck, obviously. Don't need ice or anything, but we got a YETI cooler. We're gonna stand the quarters up so they can kind of breathe a little better. And head to town to maybe eat something. Burger, Chinese food, Mexican. We got options.